Alejandro Garnacho was one of United's most dangerous players. Obviously, there's been lots of reports about interest from Napoli, from Chelsea. Is there a possibility that tonight this is his last game at Old Trafford?
Nope. I'm focused on the games, and this year, this player for Manchester United was really important for us today. Let's see the next days.
Okay. Right, buddy, there you can see Ruben Amorim talk about Alejandro Garnacho. I want to talk about why Manchester United must keep this player. He's just so direct. He had a very good performance yesterday against Rangers, a very, very sharp performance. And with the bids coming in from Chelsea, coming in from Napoli, this is a player that I think Manchester United must keep. I understand from PSR rules we may have to look at selling him. But there's no really better youngsters, really. Yes, you can say Lamine Yamal, but we're not going to get him. And at this current moment, you look at what Garnacho offers for Manchester United. Amorim talked about how he's still trying to adapt his game. Garnacho, for me, is a very, very good player. And I said at times I would sell him. But looking at it from a different perspective, I think Amorim knows how important Garnacho is. And there's limited players with this skill set. He's an Argentinian international, a very, very good player. And someone that I want to keep at Manchester United at all costs. A very, very talented prospect who works hard. And yeah, why I think keeping him at Manchester United will be the best for us. He's 20 years old. And this is just through the poor decisions that Ineos are making that we're forced to sell one of our most up-and-coming players, because Garnacho, for me, has all the talent, experience to become a top Manchester United player. And you've seen again yesterday, as I said, Amorim talked about he's adapting, he's moving inside, he's having more confidence to play. And that's ultimately, I think, something Manchester United and Ruben Amorim has given him. And yeah, as I said, there's not many players out there that, like Garnacho. He is kind of a world-class player. And you look at what he's done for United so far in the big game moments, it would be a travesty, because I'm sure if Garnacho does leave Manchester United, whether that's to Napoli, whether that's to Chelsea, he will do fantastically well in a different club, and that will be United's loss. I think we can't afford to take a risk on selling him. I'm just waiting for the window to end. I'd much rather get rid of Rashford, and I'd much rather get rid of Anthony, who's already gone. But it's a very poor decision for United to sell a player of his calibre, of his quality at the point that we currently are. As I said, you understand the point. If they do offer 70, 80 million, you are going to take it. But I think for me, it'd be very... If you're saying you replace Garnacho with someone like Tyler Diblin, who's been linked to, I would want a deal. Garnacho's Premier League experience at Manchester United, he's good at doing that. With Diblin, it's a big risk. Yes, he's played in the Premier League, but the pressure of coming to Manchester United, I don't think Diblin team are better than Garnacho. There's so many reasons why I would keep him. He's got the ability to improve. He's already established himself as a first-team player. He was one of our key players over the last few seasons. Someone from the academy, and someone who I think Ruben Amorim wants to keep, and he wants to stay at United. There was very emotional scenes when he left Old Trafford yesterday. It did kind of look like a goodbye. I hope it wasn't, because, as I said, he's a one-in-a-kind sort of player, and you don't get players like these very often. Yes, he hasn't had the greatest season at United. He's been a bit shaky this season, new manager. But if you look at some of his games and some of the bits that he can do, look at that performance against Man City in the FA Cup, fantastic. Look at that performance against Arsenal. Look at that performance. Like, he's had so many good performances in the youth, consistent moments for Manchester United that he's had. And you look at his career so far at Manchester United, it can only go up from here. I think Ruben Amorim, the Manchester United hierarchy, Omar Barada, Ineos, must do everything they can, because we can't let a player like this go. And Chelsea, listen, if they get a player like him, they'd be laughing at us. They've already robbed us for Mason Mount, they'll be robbing us again if they get Garnacho, because I'll be very worried if he does leave, because I'm sure he will excel elsewhere at a different club. And yeah, listen, for me, it's so vitally important Manchester United keep him. We've made some big mistakes in the past over transfers, letting big players go, spending too much on certain players that we shouldn't have. But this one is a pretty simple decision for me. Keep Alejandro Garnacho at Manchester United at all costs. I mean, not at all costs, literally. If they do offer 70, 80 million, you're going to have to take it. But do everything we can to keep him, because there's not many players who... Yes, he might not fit into the system, but I think there's a way around it. And I'm sure Garnacho is willing to work. And I think Amorim is working on that. I don't think it's one way Garnacho has gone to the board and said, I want to leave now. I'm not happy. I think it's more of a kind of agent thing. I think Amorim is happy with him because he's a very, very good technical player and does suit the role of Manchester United. But it will be interesting to see what does develop and happen under the Garnacho situation. As I said, Chelsea are very much interested. They want to put a bid. They want to put in a deal for Garnacho. Napoli as well. Antonio Conte's. They need someone to replace Kvaratskhelia, and they're looking at Garnacho for that one. Rashford, I don't know what's going to happen on his exit, but listen, if you're saying, I mean, the only people I wouldn't mind replacing him for is Cunha and then Buemo. They'd be the two I'd sell Garnacho for. But if we get someone like Tyler Diblin, I think he can become a very good player, and he's only 18. But it's too much of a risk, and I think there's more important players and better players out there at this moment for Garnacho. But what I would personally do in this January window, I'd keep Garnacho. Anthony's going to go, Rashford's going to go, and you bring in Cunha. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.